So we're just going to talk about the results from your hearing test. So across the top here is pitch. So we have low pitches to high pitches. And then down the side is soft sounds to very loud sounds. And the circles are your right ear and the X's are your left ear. So what we consider normal, can I write on this? That's fine.
You can, I have another copy.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
So what we consider normal is from about this point up. So as you can see, all of your hearing thresholds for both ears fall outside of what we consider normal. And so then we moved on and did that testing. And the first test we did was where you heard those words and they got softer. And that just checked to see that these results were accurate. And then you heard those words that stayed at one level. And when we made it loud enough, so in an ideal environment where it's quiet and the sound is made loud enough, you got 26% in your right ear and 52% in your left ear.
That's pretty bad, huh?
Yeah, so you are, like you talked to me about earlier, you are struggling hearing people, and if you add noise, we also did noise testing, but when you add that noise, you struggle even more than before. And we can see that here with your test results. When we did the sentences, you had 23% in the right ear and 49% in the left ear when it was just quiet. But then when we added you a noise, that left ear did even poorer at only 31%. So you a lot of times are in environments where it is noisy and it's not loud enough and you are struggling. So based on these results, we would recommend probably a cochlear implant just because a hearing aid will not provide you enough benefit. So that is what we would be recommending for you.
So you think that this cochlear implant is a good option for me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know anything about implants.
That's okay. So I actually have a drawing. So it's similar and different to your hearing aids in a lot of different ways. So you know your hearing aids sit behind your ear, and then there's that little tube that goes down into your ear. Mm-hmm. With a cochlear implant, you also have something sitting on top of your ear, but nothing actually goes down into your ear canal. Instead, there's actually a wire that comes up and a magnet hooks onto your skull. So this is what the device will look like. This is the external piece. So this is the part that sits on your ear, mm-hmm. and that's the battery. And then it goes up, and then this is the external magnet. And so then you have it talks with the internal piece. So this internal piece and external piece are both magnets, and they talk to each other. And then there's an electrode, which is just put into the cochlea, and the cochlea is just like the hearing organ, and that allows you to hear. So it's actually a different way of hearing than hearing aids, because hearing aids, the sound goes in your ear canal and through the little bones and then to the cochlea. This way it actually jumps past all of that and it goes straight from the mic out here, or the mic right up here, the mic up here, and then it goes straight to the internal piece and to the nerve.
So how does it go from this
mm-hmm.
to this?
Okay, so the microphones will pick up the sound around you, mm-hmm. and it will change it into like FM waves so that these two can communicate.
What are FM waves?
Kind of like when you're listening to like a radio.
Oh.
So that's kind of how they're just going to talk to
okay.
each other. So when we normally hear, we hear through sound waves, and mm-hmm. so it's just changing it so it can get through the skull, and then you'll hear it.
Okay. So you said that this hooks onto my skull. That sounds uncomfortable.
No. So you have this little piece right in here is the magnet. And then we have an internal piece that is also a magnet. So you know when you were a kid and you play with those magnet rocks, and they just kind of hook onto one of each other?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it's like.
So they're going to put a magnet in my head and then the other magnet's on top of my head?
Yep. So they'll go in and put this piece surgically. It's an outpatient procedure. Takes a couple of hours. And then this piece and the activation will come a couple of weeks later.
So there's a surgery. Do we do the surgery here? Do you do the surgery?
I don't do the surgery. There's actually Dr. Kelsall down in Denver. He can do the surgery. He's done lots of surgeries. A lot of the patients we have seen here at our clinic, he has done their surgeries. So we would refer you down to him. And then there would be like a CT just to make sure that your cochlea hasn't turned to bone, and that just so he can get an idea of where the structures are, because everyone's anatomy and structures are just slightly different, and then he can proceed with like the surgery.
So then after the surgery, can I hear right away?
It will take a lot of we have like oral rehab, which is like training you to like listen. So you'll have the surgery, and then a couple of weeks later you will come to our clinic, and we will do the initial activation. So that is, you know, when we did your hearing aids, how we hooked you up and fit them. That's kind of the idea. We're gonna fit the cochlear implant.
Okay.
And so we will do that, and then we will do a 1 month post, 1 month appointment, a 3 month, a 6 month, and then 12, and then you'll do annual appointments from there. And then there are oral rehab classes and stuff like that we can help you with, so that we can like train you and your brain how to hear this new way, because it's gonna take some hard work and it's gonna be different than how you are used to hearing.
So how different will it be, and how long will it take for me to retrain my brain?
It really depends on the patient. Every patient is different. Obviously, the more motivated you are and more support you have, those patients seem to do better. A lot of patients are doing significantly better at 6 months compared, like based on the research I've seen, but yeah.
So how much does it cost to get one of these?
So it's, I think, like $20,000 for the device, and then you have the cost of the surgery. So it's around $100,000, which is a lot. So what we can do is we can actually bill it to your insurance and see like what they will cover. And then if they deny it, there are actually people at the company Cochlear, which is the company we work with and Dr. Kelsall works with to implant cochlear implants. They actually have people on their team that help like fight insurance and get that approved. So there are definitely other things we can try to do to get that cost covered as much as possible, since it is a lot, especially if it were out of pocket.
Yeah, there's no way I could afford $100,000.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And you'll do, most patients do one at a time. So we'll go in for 1 ear and then do the second ear later. But yes, you are right. That is still a massive cost for any patient. So that's why we're going to try and work with insurance and Cochlear to get that covered as much as possible.
So is there any way that I can talk to somebody who's already done this and ask them questions?
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you the website for Cochlear. I do know through that there have been past cochlear implant recipients, and even some of the other manufacturers have patients that have gone through this procedure. And so you can talk with them and how their process went. There might even be people here at the clinic that, if it's okay with them, I could put the two of you in contact, and you guys can talk about cochlear implants. I'm sure you still have a lot of questions that will come up over time, and they would be another great resource to help answer those.
Yeah. Well, I'm just so at my wit's end with hearing aids and just don't feel like they're doing much for me now. So if this is something that my insurance would cover, I think I'm really interested in learning more and seeing if the surgeon thinks that I would be good for this.
Okay.
So then what do I need to do?
So I can talk to Dr. Kelsall and let him know about your situation and everything like that, and then refer you down to him, and then he can do that CT and talk with you more about that, so we can get you scheduled with him and moving forward in the process of a surgery.
Okay. All right, well, let's do that then.
Okay.
All right.